Hello and welcome to Lesson 11 of the Masuda Ashi introductory course. This is the second lesson on Masuda Ashi shadow rules. In the previous lesson, lesson number 10, we covered the rule that if you see two consecutive long pink Masuda Ashi real bodies and shadows, that could be an indication of an imminent near-term top. And we often saw bearish harami patterns, which are one of our four critical pattern formations emerging at the same time, which also indicates the possibility of a near-term top. And we're still on the stock 3408 Sakai Orbex here, and we're just going to have a look at one of the previous instances of where we had two consecutive very long pink real body and Masuda Ashi shadows here. And the Masuda Ashi chart system has a function which we call the time slip, or slip back in time. It's a little bit like backtesting, but you don't kind of run algorithms on lots of different historical data to test if your trading strategies worked. What this involves is actually kind of resetting the chart back to a different date in time so that you can see what the Masuda Ashi chart was saying at that time in terms of the predictor line group and other functions, which we'll get into more detail later. But for now, this white line is showing today's, the latest Masuda Ashi value for this particular stock. But let's go back in time to around here when we had the emergence of these two very long real bodies and shadows. Now, one way you can do this is by clicking this bottom button on the menu bar at the very bottom left of the screen. You can do that individually and that will take you back one day at a time. You can see the automatic adjustment depending on the high and the low range. Well, we've come this far, we may as well just keep clicking. Whoops, there we are, right there. Now, this is the first and then the second very long bar. We have a function here called the predictor, which says that tomorrow's Masuda Ashi, the 3-day, the short-term Masuda Ashi real body color is likely to be pink. This can change to blue as well, the background color here, depending on the forecast by the chart system, which we'll get into more detail later as well. Now, to see what would happen to the right hand side here, from this, assuming that this was today, we want to see what is likely to happen to the Masuda Ashi real bodies from tomorrow. Now, this system does not predict what the share price will be tomorrow. Nobody can do that, and we are not claiming that the Masuda Ashi chart system is any different. We cannot predict what the share price will open at, what it will close at, what the high will be, what the low will be. We are not in the business of predicting actual share prices. We are looking at trends. The Masuda Ashi chart system is very focused on identifying trends and turning points. That is the essence of this whole system. Which is enough in itself to help investors trade profitably and avoid making large losses. But one very advanced feature that we have in the Masuda Ashi chart system is what we call the incorporation of the fourth dimension, 4D. Normally we have, the physical world is a 3D world where everything physical has length, breadth, and depth, and you can measure in the 3 dimensions. Now the fourth dimension is the dimension of time, and most charting software focuses only on historical data, what happens in the past, and sometimes people draw lines in technical analysis to try and predict resistance or support levels. And this software does incorporate some of those elements too as a complementary measure. One of the key elements of the Masuda Ashi chart system is that it incorporates a window into the future, which takes into account the dimension of time. So we want to know what is going to happen to the right of this chart here. We can't predict specific share prices, but based on the calculations that underpin the Masuda Ashi chart, we will be able to generate a good idea of what color the Masuda Ashi lines themselves are going to be, the real body lines. So let's click this right arrow here, one to the right. That opens up the Masuda Ashi forecasts for the next 7 days in the case of the daily chart. We can see that this is still going up, up, up. Now, is that what actually happens? Let's go 1 day into the future. We have been studying now that we expect this to indicate a possible near-term top and followed by a correction or sideways trading. So let's go forward. Whoops, here we go. Now, there we have still a pink real body, which was as the window into the future predicted. If we go back again 1 day, we're predicting a pink real body, okay? This is not predicting what the share price will be, remember, so we cannot predict shadows. It's just the trend, how the trend will continue going in terms of Masuda Ashi real bodies. So we go back, shut off the window into the future, move 1 day forward. Now we have a pink real body, which is accurate. However, the share price has come down as we would have expected based on our study of the Masuda Ashi shadows, knowing that 2 consecutive long pink Masuda Ashi real bodies with shadows will likely be followed by a correction or sideways trading. Now let's see what the window into the future says. Aha! Now we're looking at a couple of blue Masuda Ashi lines. So this is confirmation that we have probably hit a peak here. We'll move another day forward. Yes, we have a blue Masuda Ashi body with the shadow still pointing down to the closing price. Oh, we've got another pink. But is that enough to be confident about? Well, we're still predicting, because of this strong rise, the trend is still pink in terms of Masuda Ashi real bodies, but we'll see what happens. We are in a phase of kind of, well, this looks like a bullish reversal, but given what's happened so far, you don't want to just take a pattern on its own. You want to have a look at it in the context of the overall chart, remember? So we have another flip back here. So very unstable at the moment, so not a good time to be buying into the stock. And if you had held the stock, it's probably a good time to think, let's take profits and close the trade. And as we go forward, the predictor line is now showing blue. The window into the future is showing more blue. But we still have a strong kind of medium-term trend. So there could still be some upward impetus, but based on the other factors that we've already studied, we think that now would be a good time to exit this trade and look for more profit potential in other stocks. So we'll leave that discussion of Sakai Orbex now. I think we've had enough confirmation about the 2 consecutive long pink Masuda Ashi real bodies and shadows indicating a near-term top and a possible correction or sideways trading thereafter. Now we're on to rule number 2 here regarding Masuda Ashi shadows. Well, let's read this from the top. The emergence of 3 to 5 harami patterns during a rapid uptrend phase points to the possibility of a near-term correction or sideways trading. So the conclusion is the same. We're looking for an indication of a likely near-term top, which we expect to be followed by a near-term correction or sideways trading, i.e. the share price is going to trade flat or go down. Now here we have quite a strong uptrend, as well as the 25-day line and the 75-day line. Everything is moving up. All lights green. However, within this upward phase of the 3-day or the short-term Masuda Ashi real body line, we have, with the shadows of course, we have a few haramis appearing. Now you can see here there is a real body with the shadow, the red body here. Now immediately following that, it's a bit difficult to see, but this is a harami pattern. You can see it's not just the one stock, but there seem to be a couple following here. This is indicative of a harami following a pink real body. Now this one's a bit easier to see, isn't it? You've got a longer real body and shadow combination followed by a pink real body but a blue shadow, because the closing price on this particular day was below the Masuda Ashi price for the day. Again, same story for this one. So they're both within this harami pattern. Same here. Now this is followed immediately by another upward pink real body and shadow, but the second period after that has a blue Masuda Ashi real body and downward pointing blue shadow. And one more harami pattern here, which I think you probably understand by now. So within this overall upward trend, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 quite distinct harami patterns emerging. So as it says here, between 3 and 5, well, we're at the 3 mark here, already getting a little bit of a hint of a change in the trend occurring in number 4, and then followed by a period of sideways trading. That's a moderate correction. So the emergence of 4 harami patterns in this case during the rising phase indicates the possibility of an impending correction. So that's basically rule number 2. Now let's have a look at this rule applied on the chart.